In this video, I will teach you how to use new pivot by function to create dynamically changing chart type. For example, I have this drop down and currently I can see year over year summary for the entire 3 years. If I want to compare 3 years on a monthly basis, I need to select year versus year and it will automatically change my chart type. So how we can develop this amazing chart using Microsoft Excel 365? I will show you each and everything in this video. Consider I have the cell data sheet on which the first column are the date and second column are the cell. We need to get the summary for year versus year using new pivot by function. Simply type pivot by, open parentheses. For the rows field, in this case, I will use hstake function, open parentheses. For the first array, I will simply define month function, open parentheses. For the serial number, I will click on A2, Control Shift down arrow key, Control backspace key to move to the active cell again, close parentheses. And now for the second array, I will use text function, open parentheses. For the value, I will again select the entire column A, click on A2, Control Shift down arrow key, Control backspace key. And for the format, simply type 3 times M, quotation mark again, close parenthesis for text function and close parenthesis for hstake function. Now this is our rows field. Hit comma. For the columns field, I want to extract the year from this state. I will simply type year function, open parenthesis, click on A2, click Control Shift down arrow key, Control backspace key again, close parenthesis for year function. Now this will extract the unique year from my data set. Hit comma. And for the values field, click on B2, Control Shift down arrow key, Control backspace key. Hit comma. And which function you want to use. In this case, I simply want to get the total sales, so I will simply type sum function. Hit comma. For the field header, in this case, I don't have any header, so I will simply select no. Hit comma. And I don't want to display rows total as well as column total, so I will simply click on no. Hit comma. Sorting order, I will simply skip this parameter. For the column total, I don't want to see any column total. And now simply ignore the other parameter, close parenthesis, hit enter. Now this is how we get monthly summary for each of the year. But of course, in this case, we don't need the first column. Actually, I use this function just to get our month in a proper order. So now I will use a simple drop function. Open parenthesis, what is the array? This whole function is my array. Hit comma on the very end. Ignore the rows. In this case, I want to skip first column, so I will simply write 1, close parenthesis, hit enter, and now we get our data in a proper order. Now the last thing, we need to convert these year from number format to text format. I will click again on active cell formula and I will simply write %, and simply write double quotation mark, hit enter. Now we have converted our years formatted as a text, and also this is a text. So this is very useful to create dynamic chart. Now we need to develop another function to get summary on monthly basis for the entire period. But before that, I want to explain one more important thing. If I simply type E of month and I simply assign the array, hit comma, and for the month I simply type 0, close parenthesis, hit enter, this function will not automatically expand. And to avoid this challenge, I need to put a plus before the reference. And now if I simply hit enter, this will automatically auto-expand. I will delete this formula and simply type pivot by function. For the rows field, I will again type hstake function, open parenthesis. And now I will use E of month function. For the start date, I will simply type plus and I will click on A2, Control Shift down arrow key, Control backspace key, hit comma, and for the months, I will simply type 0, close parenthesis, and this is our first array. Actually, I'm using this array to sort my data in a proper order. Hit comma. For the next array, I will simply type text function, open parenthesis. Again, I will select the entire date range, Control Shift down arrow key, Control backspace key, hit comma, and for the format, I simply want month and then year. Quotation mark again, close parenthesis, and close parenthesis for hstake function. Hit comma. In this case, I want to skip the column fields, and for the values, I will select the entire column B. Click on B2, Control Shift down arrow key, Control backspace key, hit comma, and I want to sum the total cell. So simply type sum, hit comma. For the field header, in this case, I don't have any header. Simply click on no, hit comma. Rows total I don't want. And now simply ignore the other parameter, close parenthesis, hit enter. And this is how we get summary for each of the month in a proper order. Now of course the reason of this column just to get my data in a proper order because these are a text and these are a number. Now I will simply use drop function to skip the first column. Open parenthesis. This whole is my array. Hit comma. And I want to skip the column. So I will simply ignore the rows field and I will simply type 1 close parenthesis, hit enter. And now we have a proper data set. Now we need to merge these formula, but before merging, we need to assign a proper header for these dynamically. So I will simply type vstack function, open parenthesis, and now I will simply select A1, B1, hit comma, and for the second array, this whole result, close parenthesis for vstack function, hit enter. Now we get our two results in a dynamic formula. We need to merge these formula into one single formula. If I scroll a little bit to the right side, I have this drop down. So if I select year over year, I want to get this array. If I select year versus year, I want to get this array. So for this, I will type a very simple if condition, open parenthesis. If this cell equal to year versus year, quotation mark again, hit comma, I want to get the result from this array. Simply click on D3, type hash, and this will select the entire array dynamically. Otherwise, I want to get the result from this array. Simply type hash, close parenthesis, hit enter. And now if I change this drop down, my dynamic array will automatically auto update. And now we need to merge these two formula into one single formula. So I will click on ActoCell formula and after comma, I will simply click Alt Enter. I will increase the formula bar a little bit more. And now I will click after D3 hash Alt Enter. And now I will copy this entire formula. Hit Ctrl C. Click on my ActoCell formula again. In this case, I will remove I3 hash and I will simply type Ctrl V, hit enter. And now I will also copy year versus year formula, hit Ctrl C and simply replace D3 hash with this formula. Hit enter. And this is how we develop complex formula step by step. Now, of course, we don't need these columns, so I will simply remove or delete this column. And now if I change year versus year to year over year, my formula automatically auto expand. Now further, we don't need any hard work. Click anywhere on this array, click on insert recommended chart. In this case, select the first line chart, hit OK. And for the design, I will choose this design. Simply type your title, let's say monthly sale. And you can do a little bit more formatting, whatever you want, but this is how you can develop dynamic chart with array formula. I hope you like the video and learned something useful. I will share the sheet with you and formula. If you have any specific question, just write me comment.